Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have an interesting video here too. This time diagnosis. I'm using the ATS Escope and I put it back into the enclosure they give you with a notepad. What is this? The Surface or something like that they give you. I'm giving it a try. What I did is I'm now connected to the USB hub that I have here. So I got mouse and keyboard and then extra monitor that I can see things better. All right, going back into the vehicle, customer concern is a BSD network down, so it had overheating. The fan came out in maximum speed, and then it was what's the name? Electrical pump disconnected. Let me show you the fault. Just make sure that I'm not showing you the customer information. So I'm going to be down a little bit just so I show you the information. All right, so as you can see, I selected. So we got BSD bus communication fault, electrical coolant pump, speed deviation, electrical coolant pump, power reduce operation, electrical pump missing. And all this happened, as you can see, those are the last. I mean, we got a knock sensors and other things in here, but he's not, you know, he's not his concern. And then we have message intelligent battery sensor missing and message alternator missing. All right, so going into a wiring diagram for those that are not familiar with what the BSD network is, let me go actually back to that one. So you can, again, this is like ISTA, this is air with the VIN number of the vehicle. I go into wiring diagrams. I selected function structure, and then I went into engine electronics, and I selected in here engine electronics. This first one that says quality control module, just select that one, and it will populate a list of possible wiring diagrams that you want to select from the engine controller, right? In this case, we got the BSD alternator or the BSD interface. Either one will give you the same, pretty much the same result. This is just for the alternator. So if we go back and we select the BSD interface, it will be complete. Remember, when you're using air, I can select in here and just look at the actual component location, but I cannot see the wiring. So it's not really that important because it's very obvious. So components that are part of the network, we have the intelligent battery sensor, the electronic coolant pump, the alternator, and the oil condition sensor. So what I did is I went over to the oil condition sensor and I connected it into the violet cable. This sensor is a three-wire sensor. You will have a battery voltage, a ground, and then the BSD signal. These are, even though it looks like a three-wire sensor, it's actually a network sensor. So this is like Ford is implementing these sensors now, like the coolant sensors are some more what they call smart sensors. But BMW, you can see, has been using this for a long time. Um, so going back, what we will see on this line is communication, and then you will treat this as you're working in a control module. If the network is down or you're losing communication, then you start unplugging one and then to find which one is the culprit, and then you get communication established back, right? So this is what you're looking for to do. For me, the easiest way to connect, and always try to do the easiest first, right? It was to get either the intelligent battery sensor or the BSD. I'd rather have, sorry, or the oil condition sensor. I'd rather use the oil condition sensor because that will give me access to the water pump if I need to access the car, raise it up, and then get in there. So let me show you that I have indeed connected. The wiring is right there, as you can see, connected into the oil level sensor and condition sensor. So again, I'm now connected in there. So now we can go back to here. I want to also give another update on using the Escope Elite. I was actually wrongly using the scope the last time, and I was not seeing the signal in its full spectrum because I wasn't using the scope the way it should be. So this is a very capable scope. It's a 16-bit oscilloscope, so it's very high resolution. The reason I wasn't able to see and I was fighting with the signal, I'm gonna show you what I was doing wrong. So before I was using 4 channel, which in realistically it's not really that important. But if I go over to, sorry, let me go back to 500 volts and put this as The way I have is always capturing 10 seconds. And that is a mistake. Because, when you start deep record, you see how that looks? That looks like, what is that, right? I mean, there's no voltage, it's no nothing. Why? It's because it's not enough samples to make the waveform. If you use fast capture, the fast capture will generate it because it's a fast capture. It uses a completely different engine to collect the data. So if you're using the ATS scope, what you need to do is reduce the sample rate in here, the recording time. In this case, I'm recording a really fast signal, so I want to use 1 millisecond. And I can even leave the 500 volts. I don't think that's going to affect anything. You see? Because right now, even at 500 volts, I can definitely see that signal complete. I can get the cursors. If you use an ATS and you don't have that zero cursor, go over to the ATS Facebook page and look for the let me show you. I think I still have it open. Yeah, look for Jeff information and ATS, and here is the link to add the zero cursor to the E-scope. So that's what you want to go and look for. That will get you the nice thing that sometimes you want to put the perfect zero. Now I have a perfect zero right there. For this waveform, I really don't need it, and I love to use this ATS scope now because I have a mouse. Before it was a nightmare. Using it with this little thing. I mean, if you're in the road and you want to use, I mean, it's definitely you can do it. But to be accurate, the way I like to do it, this is the way to do it. All right, but so if you're using it just to see one signal, let me just see if we really see a big difference on the capture. I will really doubt it because, as you can see, we can definitely see the signal a little hashy, but it's good. I mean, you can see it's reading around 11.5, and sorry, cursor 2 is around 865 millivolts. Remember, positions of the cursors. But if I go and reduce this and I make it go even to one channel, make it go to 20 volts, right? I'm in a strip chart, not trigger the scope because I don't really need that. And now I start the recording. Now this is a lot better. The way I like to do is I like to zoom out. And the reason I do that is because now I can grab a higher than the signal window to analyze the information a lot better. Sometimes you want to have that so you can have a little higher, sorry, a little higher and a little lower so you can see the signal in its full amplitude and do an analysis. This is what I like to do. Because then now you can see that we can get the cursors, and with this scope, you need to select where you're going to use by hands and window. If you want to move the cursors, just select the cursors in there. So now I'm going to put it more accurate on where we are. So definitely we have problems. This signal should rise around, this is just where 1, 2, 3, 4 modules connected, let's say, and then we repeat 1, 2, 3, 4 modules. This is like the responses of the modules, but the amplitude is incorrect. This should be around 12 and a half, 12.3 to 12 and a half, and depends on the battery voltage, even up to 13 volts. So this is too low. So we definitely have a shorted module. Let's call all these components modules because they're smart sensors. Okay, so what I want to do, because I already know what is wrong, is the alternator is bad. So um, the alternator connector is one wire here. So I'm just going to unplug this, and you can see it's a violet cable. If we go over to the wiring diagram that we were before, right where we were before, right here, we can see that the alternator, all these are violet. So it's the same wire for everything. And that's why, and even internally in DME, there will be share. So that's why if we want to short it, it will short out the rest. And then this is not a full short, but it will be enough for creating all those faults that we have. So now if I run these, I'm going to leave the cursors just where they are. This is enough, and you guys, I bet you guys already see the difference, so maybe not because of the colors on the screen, but let me zoom out. So I can grab the pen hand and look what we got. You see, this is where we were before. If I move now, remember, I'm still in 11.5. This is cursor 1. If I get the cursor and I move it up, now we got 12.376. And believe me, I did the same test and I plugged the alternator back, remove everyone else, it's still at 11. Leave everything else plugged in, remove the alternator, boom. So that's how you test the BSD network. Obviously, you need to, like in the oil level sensor, you want to check power and ground because that produces a signal, not just the BSD line. So if you have a problem with the with the oil level, oil quantity level, you want to check the power and the ground, and I did. I have pictures for the customer for that. But again, this is just a short video that I want to share. I hope that you guys like the information that I'm sharing. I also want to give a heads up. I'm really working actively now to start classes that I'm going to promote for basic, medium, and advanced level diagnostics, and then basic, medium, and advanced level how to repair computers. I'm creating a website and I will be starting the classes, 40 classes, 40 hours of class per each module. Again, basic, m- um, medium, and advanced, and that is coming short. In very short time, I will be putting this out there. So if you're interested in taking the classes and get up to the next level, I can take you there. All right, guys. I don't want to take more of your time. I will see you next time. Bye bye.